Yeah.
My name is Nancet Marques, and I'm originally from Goa in India, and that's where I grew up. And I've got two more brothers and one sister. And I like traveling the world, and that's what also brings me to Glasgow.
Yeah.
I knew I was creative, and I didn't know where to take or how to progress that creativity at some point. But I went to film school in 2008, and one of my teachers there, she said, we happened to strike a conversation on writing books. And I said to her, one day I want to write a book. And she said to me, and Anne said, you've got to write a book. You've got a style. So that was in my head. And yeah, that's where it began, to be honest. My childhood was the main inspiration for Chino and the Boy Scouts. We had this school, amazing school, and scouting was very important. And I wanted to kind of put it all in a story compared to, or kind of explaining the life between 80s, the things that children did in 80s and the things children do now. So yeah, that's the yes, it was challenging to drag myself every day and sit and write. And I think that's a challenge most of writers face, to get up and try and progress the story every day. And yeah, I think that's it. Well, I was about the twist. I was always very fascinated with this filmmaker M. Night Shyamalan, and I was amazed with his style of telling stories where you keep, the audience hooked on, and right to the end you throw a big twist and they don't see it coming. So all my storytelling, like the films which I've made previously, the stories I've written, so that was one of the main things. So it was kind of something that I always wanted to achieve in my writing or in my storytelling. And when I started to write Chino in the Boy Scouts, this twist wasn't involved. It just came somewhere when I reached to the third draft, and I was like, this would be amazing, So yeah. Well, his adventure will continue. I am a plotter, and I cannot write a story without plotting. And to tell you about this, I went home in 2014, and I lived at my parents' place, and they had like a spare room in the house. So I wanted to write a book. So I decided to write a book about a boy going on a scouting adventure, or he goes on a scouting trip and gets himself into adventure, and that's all it was meant to be, a very short story. But then as I started plotting it, it just grew and grew and grew like a tree, and I couldn't stop at one book. I wanted to make it into two books, but now it's turned into like a 3-part story. Yeah. But plotting was very important for me, because I spent 2 years just plotting the story. I would come every weekend or every Saturday and just plot and progress the plot every day. And once the plot was ready, that's when I started writing it in detail. The highlands, the mountains, and the people. Well, I was surprised to see square sausages when I came to Scotland. So But yes, I can't stop eating them. I try and write short stories, like really, really short ones. But my priority at the moment is to start writing the second part of Chino and the Boy Scouts. So that's what I try to aim and write every weekend or whenever I have the mindset to sit and write. Yes, my only tip will be when you think about writing a book, the first thing that comes in our mind is a big fat book. But it's all about telling a story. It could be even 1 page or 2 page, you know. So once you have that in your mind that you just want to tell your story, that's all that matters. And as every author says, you have to write every day. That's the only key to finishing it. So try and finish what you start.